Listen to what this man is saying. This is the chief product officer at Quant. Now, this is important what he's covering in this video. All right, because all of these Bitcoin companies across the board have been doing the same thing. They have so much crossover. It's unbelievable. In addition to that, they're all in the same regions and they don't step on each other's toes. And here's another thing. I told people they will be congealing together, not just with the legacy system, but with each other. And we've seen Hedera working with Ripple. Even Lehman, Baird, and Brad Garlinghouse said that they may work together on special projects in the future. We've seen Cardano come together with Ripple. We're seeing the mass congealing right now. But why? What does that lead to? They know they're in a position of domination. They know they're in a position to take over if they really want to. And opportunities are opening up in the future. But if you listen to what this man is saying, don't worry, we're going to start. I have my timestamps here. All right, so be ready. This video was titled Digital Money Event 2024 Fireside Chat with Martin Hargreaves. Don't forget, Quant has Overledger for XRP. That's major. I think they have it for XRP, Ethereum, and something else. I think maybe it's XDC or something like that. That's major when XRP is at the forefront, when it's the best of the best. But wait, I'm going to let him tell you because he's going to talk. Let's listen. Let's go to, we're going to start here at... We're going to start early, go to 1 minute, just jump to 1 minute and 1 second. We're going to let it play from there because he says something interesting. Then we're going to jump around a little bit to get to the important parts. All right, but pay close attention to this. I hope you can hear it. Their audio is terrible at these events. For such big money institutions, their audio is horrible. No disrespect. I'm turned all the way up.
First of those was in Latin America. And that was an interbank system that's between a whole bunch of different countries. It was all dollar denominated, and it was quite early on. It was interesting because the blockchain that they were using, LangChain, is a permissioned but public blockchain, and they have banks on there. And they were looking at kind of how do we interchange things. Can you build a payment system on this, basically? How can we do netting? How can we do privacy when they can see each other? So there's some interesting questions.
So wait. Let's take note for the future, first of all, that he didn't name the banks that they worked with. Let's just take note of that. He said they worked with a bunch of different banks. A bunch. That's already interesting. So if they work with those banks and they were satisfied with the product, then there's a possibility in the future when there's regulatory clarity that we all been waiting for, but we seem to see it rolling out a little bit faster now. But it wasn't in existence then. But if there's regulatory clarity and they were satisfied with the product, why wouldn't they use it in the future? Now, if they use that product in the future, that equals an explosion in price theoretically. Things like Quant will be super bullish. Things like XRP and Ripple, who are in that same region doing experiments, helping banks. Ripple was there in Latin America, deep. Quant was there in Latin America, deep. Do all this, research all of this. Stellar was there. Algorand is there via Koi Banks, but Algorand just directly was there as well. That's 4 of them deep in places like Latin America, where they all were running similar things, working with a cadre of banks who they haven't even announced are using their products yet. Not just banks. I like to highlight the banks, but all the businesses, so many businesses. Don't ever forget the businesses. There's a lot of money in those regular businesses, small, medium size, larger size. But wait, okay, wait now let's jump. Hang in there with me. We're going to get to some stuff here today. I'm telling you right now. See, they talk. We have to listen. This is why the research, it pays off. You got to sit through these boring. That's why I try to make it entertaining. It could be a little bit boring. People don't want to sit through all this verbiage. Jump to 15 minutes and 33 seconds. 15 minutes and 33 seconds. Matter of fact, go to 15 minutes and 25 seconds. We'll give it a little bit of room to breathe, right? Let's go there, see what he's talking about.
But who are the RLN shareholders, and what do you think will be the first use case which they will adopt?
Good question. So RLN is an experimentation project. So it doesn't have shareholders. It's a group of banks doing an experiment with UK finance. So it's a UK.
Pause. They don't have, wait. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm trying to hold the computer up so you can hear it better because their audio is terrible. I'm just telling you, I'm hoping you can hear this. But he said, it doesn't have shareholders. It's just a group of banks. Sir, can you please name the bank? Name the bank. What banks? It's a group of banks doing an experiment under the UK finance. Wait a minute, you already know Quant. This is why he's talking about it. Quant is deep in the UK with the Bank of England, with a bunch of other banks, right? Ripple is deep in the UK with XRP, with a bunch of financial institutions they work with. Look it up. He says a UK finance project with about 12 retail banks. Okay, 12. That's a good amount. Both card networks are involved in that. So it's at this point is very much an experimentation platform. It says, and what we did was we worked with all of, I think he said they meant all of them. It says all of those banks. We worked with all of those banks. So Quant has already told you this is in addition to, all the other things. Like Sia Chain and Sia Partners and Nexi and all that. You don't know about Quant, look that up. But he said we worked with all of those banks. If that's not bullish, I don't know what is. That's the big money, folks. None of this is financial advice. That's the big money. That's what I'm looking at. They didn't work with one, two. They worked with all of them. That means that those banks were satisfied with what Quant was doing. Those banks trust the Bank of England when it vouched for Quant and say, hey, these are the best of the best. Same thing with Ripple. The Bank of England constantly is talking to Ripple. Over the years, has worked with Ripple. They're in the door. You think that Quant worked with a bunch of these banks, but Ripple didn't? It's just that Ripple doesn't have someone going around and talking and telling. Look how uncomfortable this man looks. Look in the video. Watch his body language. He's under the pressure right now. Sometimes he stumbles over his words a little bit. He's trying to figure out what he can say, what he can't say. He's telling. They're getting, for some reason right now, they're getting put out there. They're getting put under pressure. These people are not used to being under pressure. They're used to being in the office and nobody questioning them. They don't have that type of experience of being under pressure. Right now, they are. They're in front of an audience. They're not used to that either. They slip up. They worked with all of those banks. Right. I mean, you tell me what you feel about that. Tell me what you think. Do you have a different interpretation? Let me know. But this is mine. Wait a minute. Let him cook. Wait a minute. Go to 19 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's go there. 19 minutes and 38 seconds. And I'm hoping the audio is not too bad on here. I'm really hoping that it's coming through. Bear with me. I'm trying to get there myself. I'm trying to get to 19 minutes. I'm going to start at 19 minutes and 32 seconds. Let's go there. Give it a little breathing room.
So we're down to 3. Same with cloud providers. There was many, now there's 3 or 4. I think the same thing was likely to happen. So there's a lot of these things won't gain traction. Some will. Where there's complexity, you have to hide it from consumers, basically. Or you
listen to what he's saying in the veiled way he's saying it. Where there's complexity, you have to hide it from consumers. Now, this goes right back to what a lot of those other experts were saying. Remember that? They said that the regular people will use crypto. They will use the native tokens. They won't even know that they did it. They put their fiat in. It's converted into the native crypto. That sails across the world in nanoseconds. I don't know, a few seconds. It's converted back into their whatever currency they wanted it to result in without them ever knowing. Hence, XRP and Quant and all these other things being bridge currencies. Now, if you got billions of people at some point using these things, we can start at millions, whatever, we'll take it. But if we have billions of people at some point using these systems, some point in the future, even if it was a second apiece, to them it's a second. It's taking a second for that transaction to go through. It's taking a second for it to touch that native crypto, even though they don't know about it. But for us, a billion, that's a billion second. That's a long time. And to have it consistently happening, all of these transactions happening consistently 24/7, 365 days a year. What does it do to that price? If that were to happen, We haven't even gotten there yet. What happens? If that doesn't result in explosion, I don't know what will. That's just the retail aspect. We're not even taking into account the wholesale aspect. But wait, let him cook. Wait.
You won't see it. So even when we're talking about tokenized deposits, some of these scenarios, customers would never see it. You only tokenize for the duration of the transaction because you need to use that particular lock instrument or something like that.
Sir, I don't know you. I don't know you. But I'm starting to like you a little bit, kid. I'm starting to like it. Listen to what he's saying. Wait, let me read it. I'm going to read the exact thing to you. Come on now. We're doing a good job, folks. I'm telling you. Listen to this. He said, first of all, he stuttered. Let's take that into account. Not like if I stutter. He stuttered because he's trying to figure out, wait, what can I say? What can I not say? Because he can't say certain things. There's NDAs. That's why he hasn't said all the names of all the different institutions, banks that he worked with. Although he's referencing them, he could easily say the names of them, but he's not. So there are things that he can't say. There's things that they can't unveil just yet, like some of these use cases he's talking about, where they discover something. They did all this experimentation. Watch this video. They did experimentation. They received requests from the banks who were satisfied with the product, or like, can you do this now? Can you do that? We see what you've done with this. Can you do that? And so they discovered new use cases. But why didn't you say what they are? Why didn't you say that? So there's certain things he can't say. But anyway, let's get here. Let's get back to this. Let me not get too excited. It says deposits. There are some scenarios customers would never see it if you only tokenize for the duration of the transaction. Only during the duration of transaction. What does that mean? You see where all of this is going? Once again. And then he says something else that's interesting. Don't worry. I'm going to let it play for a second. Just wait. It says, you only tokenize for the duration of the transaction. That's it. That's the only time you tokenize. It says, because you need to use that particular lock instrument. He's going to go in real deep with these lock instruments. What do you mean? You're locking. So you're locking this stuff up, huh? So, I mean, what does it mean when you lock a tokenized product up? What does it do to that price? You're locking it up for how long? He's not saying how long you lock it up for. And they're talking about in this video, locking these things up. See, this is how the legacy system does. See, their ignorance works in our favor. See, when we stake something, we lock it up or whatever, you know how long it's going to be. And we're just going to do it one time. Boom, we do this one time. Boom. There's not a bunch of different ways we're locking it up. It's just this one way. We're staking it or we're delegating it. He's talking about 2 or 3 different ways that he didn't go in depth with, that they want to lock these things up for different reasons. So if you're locking value up on chain, what does it do to that price? I mean, am I going nuts? Or are you seeing what I'm seeing? Am I interpreting this correctly? I believe I am. I ask you questions, get you participate. We're a team here. But wait, he says, because you need to use that particular lock instrument or something that is entirely hidden. So the answer to the question is, if you make users' lives more complicated with this proliferation, it's just not going to work. So once again, simplicity. Did you watch the members only video that I released yesterday? See how it's important, how everything connects together? If you didn't see that members only video, go watch it. Don't gloss over it. It's deep. I'm telling you. See what he's talking about? That is the key. To wholesale, they want it. To retail, they want what's in that members only video. I'm telling you. So what do you do with that information? You watch out for, not financial advice. You watch out for who is at the forefront of the easeability of use, who is at the forefront of the easeability of deployment. And if you know who that is, which companies are taking that serious, which companies can actually do that right now or first, then you know who has the advantage. And whoever has the advantage is going to be able to do business first, bring in the most business. Theoretically, if they're good at bringing business in, they'll bring in the most business. That equals value coming in. Welcome to the chess game, folks. This isn't checkers. This is chess. We're playing 4D chess, 5D, whatever. We're up here right now. I'm telling you, you and me, we're up here right now. It's not a game. Yeah, you see how that lines up? Once again, you see that members only video. If you see that, then you listen to what he's saying right here. It all lines up. Two big different institutions are saying that this is one of the pathways forward into the future. Yeah, I'm a little excited. Let me get a little excited. I'm a little excited. Feels damn good to be a researcher right now. We're hot on the trail. But wait a minute. Calm down. You calm down. I'm calm down. You calm down. Wait a minute. I didn't even let it go all the way. I'm hoping they can hear this. Let's go. Let it play.
So the answer to the question is, if you make users' lives more complicated with this proliferation, it's just not going to work. One of them falls by the wayside.
Yeah, and I think we'll come back to that later. We're going to have a session later on this afternoon about how not to implement.
Wait, I'm going to have to pause it here. Let's jump, because we don't have a lot of time here, folks. Let's jump to, where were we? Okay. Jump to 21 minutes and 49 seconds. 21 minutes and 49 seconds. Hold on. Okay, I'm there. You there right now? Let's go. And let's push play. Let's go.
That singleness, that equivalency, and what one of the participants calls a functional consistency between types of money, basically to say anything you can do on one type of money, you should be able to do on all types of money. And that was quite a big challenge because prior to this, a lot of what we've been doing was around, we'll do a really cool smart contract that can do a load of stuff that you can't do on anything else. This was turning that on its head and going, okay, do that, and also prove that you can do that without doing that. Right? Prove that you can do that for just a bank account. And the insight that came out of that is, yeah, we can do that. Because we did.
Stop! You told, sir. You told. Look at it. Hear his stutter? He said, they asked him, can you do this without doing that? They asked him to go into new territory. And they said, yeah, we can do that. First of all, you heard how he said it. They weren't confident, but they solved the problem. Then he said, we can do that. And then he said, we did do that. They solved a problem that they hadn't even tried to do before. They have a solution that nobody else has. They have a solution they're declaring that they have. They solved this problem. I don't hear anybody else saying they've solved that problem. Then he's going to go into something else where they created this way. Listen, I'm gonna let him tell it. Wait a minute. I don't want to get too excited. So we're looking at companies where we're looking at Ripple, Quant, Chainlink, Solana. All of them have been doing similar testing, similar experimentation, working with similar financial institutions. I mean, with Ripple and Quant, there's like direct crossover with a lot of this stuff. And with Ripple and a lot of companies, there's direct crossover, especially in the MENA region. You got Ripple there. You have Hedera real strong in that region as well. You have XDC there in that region. But, man, we live in some unbelievable time, folks. I have so many thoughts. My apologies. But let me play just a little bit more.
But the RLN API, when you create a transaction, you tell it what type of money you want, but there is no limitation as to what works and what doesn't, depending on what type of money you wanted. So that kind of led us this insight of, okay, if all of these need to be the same, then that actually the point of programmability is probably going to be where the customer is, not where the ledger is.
Yeah, and I mean, coming on to that.
Oh, my goodness. What he's saying is so interesting, hearing what he's saying versus what the central banks have been saying. So they figured out a way to do it both ways, where they could have it where the central bank is, but it would be preferable to have it where the customer is, which then leads me to wonder about the significance of crypto wallets, crypto wallet interoperability. See, what's happening is they're creating this umbrella around the world where they have true interoperability across everything. He even goes into legalities and how to enforce those, etc., through everything being on chain, the DLT systems. Now, wait, we're going to end it off here. Well, we're not going to end the video off, but let's go to 24 minutes and 19 seconds, okay? 24 minutes and 19 seconds. My apologies today if I'm not so eloquent. I'm just a little bit tired. Just a little bit tired today. It's okay. No big deal. 24 minutes, 19 seconds. Let's play that and find out what's going on here. Then we'll close out with a little bit of Bitcoin news.
And the customer consents to that, it will actually make these kinds of things easier to do as well. So there's pre-built automation in there that you can tap into so that...
Stop. Pre-built automation. Are we spot on or are we spot on, folks? Haven't I been talking about automation? Didn't I tell everybody that in the future, Everything will be fully automated. Right now, and I said this, right now, what people have been experiencing is partial automation. Anybody who runs an online store or has run an online store and they deal with, what are these companies? What's that one company? Like a company like Shopify as an example, and then you do the Shopify, then you have these print on demand services like Gelato and all this other stuff like that. Then you run that through there. That's just but there's still a part that you have to do. So when you get to fully automated, like what the big businesses require, what the banks require, that's a different level. What you're going to need is AI. You're going to need DLT systems. And listen, did I put it out in yesterday's video about the how well everything comes together when you have AI and DLT together? I think I did. Hopefully people read those little posts that I put in the videos. This is good information. But you're going to need AI, you're going to need DLT systems, and make no mistake about it, in the future when you add on quantum computing, which is going to be vastly downsized or greatly downsized, you have a system that pretty much runs itself. Once you take the initial steps to let the system know in whatever way needs be what it's supposed to do, everything else, it takes it from there. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what he's talking about. There's going to be pre-built automation in there. If that's not easeability of use, I don't know what is. Now, why is this important? Once again, Quant and XRP, Ripple, there's crossover there. They're all doing the same things. They're all trying to innovate in the ssame ways. You hear Ripple talking about AI, Flare talking about AI. You hear Quant saying these things here. Pre-built automation. What do you think that means? What do they call it? Machine learning, which is an early precursor to what's to come. Obviously, I mean, there's so much stuff going on, folks. Let's close out here with a little bit of Bitcoin news. Let's choose the absolute best Bitcoin article that we can. We're going to go with this one right here from Cointelegraph.com, titled Bitcoin Rally to Continue Until End of 2025, according to some analysts. Bitcoin's historic $100,000 milestone comes despite sluggish momentum in oil, gold, and the S&P 500 index. Bitcoin hit the historic $100,000 milestone despite a lack of price momentum. Of course, it took a little dip or two since that time. Then it came up, then it dipped a little bit, then it came up. Now it looks like it's negative 90, not negative. It's in the red right now, $99,819. The historic peak comes despite sluggish performance across other major global assets over the past month. Bitcoin's price surged by 32%, while oil dropped 6.3%. S&P 500 fell 1%, and gold declined by 1%. Bitcoin's rally against other global assets is promising signal for Bitcoin investors. Bitcoin rally until the end of 2025 and quote unquote euphoria stage. Bitcoin has entered the euphoria stage based on the long-term holder net unrealized profit/loss metric. This could extend Bitcoin's rally until the end of 2025, according to Quentin Francois, co-founder of WeRate, who wrote in the December 7 X post, quote, Bitcoin is entering the euphoria stage. You have a maximum, this is his opinion, by the way, not financial advice, it's not a guarantee. You have a maximum of 12 months before cycle top. All right. It continues. The NUPL is used to measure whether the overall Bitcoin network is at a state of profit or loss based on the difference between unrealized profit and unrealized loss among Bitcoin holders. Listen, yeah, I can see it going very deep into 2025. Just my humble opinion. Now, let's end off with this little piece, this little article piece right here. This article is also from Cointelegraph.com, and it is titled Future Bitcoin Price Dips to $90,000. Quote, routine profit taking, unquote. I said this before. We already knew this. People here on this channel knew. I told you, you haven't seen anything yet. There's going to be some of the most vicious, shark-like profit taking, lion-like profit taking you've ever seen in your life from now until whenever the true bull run ends, whenever that's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't proclaim to know. But I just know what I'm going to see. Lots of profit taking. But guess what? It doesn't stop Bitcoin or the altcoins. Not right now. It's not. And what have you seen? You dip and then it goes back up. Then it dips. It goes back up because there's going to be buying. There's going to be sellers and there's going to be people buying because they know Bitcoin and the altcoins have not reached their potential just yet. Traders bought up. Told you. Didn't I told you. You know, the companies want Bitcoin. Retail wants Bitcoin. Somebody's going to buy those dips. Traders bought up Bitcoin's dips. to $90,000, a sign that investors are confident in Bitcoin prices above $100,000. Like I said, people became much smarter over the last few years. They had a lot of time in the bloody bear market to study. They know what's coming. They know Bitcoin can go much higher than 100,000. We haven't even passed 150 yet. And I think at some point, I think that might be easy. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Might be easy at some point to go past 150,000. We shall see. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.